Okay, we're going to jump back out here. And I think we need to go to scan as required. Let's go over here. I'm not sure why this is still there if we already went to the planet. Let's go ahead and scan this. This is the expanse is a vast region of space where you'll travel between different star systems. In each system, unique events can occur. By steering your flagship toward them, you can explore planets, study anomalies, and interact with the other ships. To switch to the map of the entire Cronus expanse, click the button in the bottom right corner of the screen. In the bottom right corner of the screen. A mobile mine outpost assembled. Can we do anything here? Alright, so we can't do nothing there. But we already came here. It's already explored. It's already been taken care of. That's the prison. We have to go here. What's this? Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Westerain's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Alright, so I think I've been on this planet in the beta or alpha, whichever one. But we'll see what we can get from this place. We got to get some crew members. To make the ship be able to operate correctly, we got to get the crew. I was trying to figure out how to fix the injuries. Hopefully they're gone. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself. What do we got here? The young woman standing before Albert strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eyes and say, "I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain." "Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avril Vent requesting permission to speak on a matter of extreme importance and urgency." All right. I will listen. There we go. This matter cannot wait any minute now. An assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on order to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Albert is in no hurry to intervene. Let's out a skeptical huff. Said, "Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the action of Senchal Westerling." Is that him? "And to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we'll have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship and no one has informed me. I would not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it." It says, "But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure if the rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, he will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you will disturb the rogue trader with next? Perhaps you will ask Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I have already given you means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your lordship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a mean of ignoring the problem, not solving it. That's true. How did this all start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found the cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. Where does the sensual Westerling come into all of this? I shall explain. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of the system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Sensual's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valencia will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed. Arrest, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks in Depot 4. To be precise, 3 workers' clans are involved, but many are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. What do you have to say of all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you will stop the uprising before it begins. What is Depot 4? It's one of the poorest sectors on the lower decks. It is home to the clans of the general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are an easy replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides giving succor to cultists and minions of the arch enemy. Depot 4 is poor and trouble, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rot-gut brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if this crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on all the neighboring sectors. Let's see. This matter is not worth my time. Leave the bridge and don't disturb me again. I've heard enough. I'll go down to the lower decks and deal with the problem personally. He was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decision for myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Come on. You can come with me, bro. And we gotta level up. What's this? Accept. Yeah, we'll go down to the lower decks. Shut this thing down. Might get some experience, get some information. I just feel like if I kill everybody, the ship's not gonna move. Let's see. Is this where we're at? The dark echelons? Alright, go to the site of the conflict. Let's go.
The divine watches over us.
Don't bro, if y'all trying to fight, man, I'm gonna kill you guys. They just threw some nonsense on my man. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Did you hear? They were shouting your name. The people dared to disrespect the senior officer? What? They would not have the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here and if the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers. It's a junior officer's worst falling to pass problems up the chain of command. I've never been able to abide by it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here. Bro, you sit back and watch. I must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer, but in the name of terror, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter, and she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down cultists. It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Did you hear? That's it. They were shouting your name. Of course they were. The organization of the daily routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders. The mountain of challenges and problems from which I endeavor to insinuate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been a cause for concern, and I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them, you are akin to a creature of legend, one who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less, whereas I am the man whose name is attached to every order docking rations or lowering a bay's heating. Now let's keep moving. See, this is a problem. This is how you have issues when you got your person that's right below you. They try to make it like you're above hearing this information and dealing with it, where you don't have to deal with it, but for them not to even notify you is like they're wielding the command, not you. They're making the decisions on your behalf, even though you don't even know what's going on. Nah, let me see what's going on for myself, and if they need to die, we'll kill them. So that's how it's gonna work. I don't need nobody.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Making decisions for me. Turn this thing, bro.
Blessed is von Valencia's bloodline.
Where are we going, though? Let's see. We just gotta go.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Why are these guys not coming with me? What are you on?
With
We
each
should
step,
deal with this.
I forge my destiny among the stars. Let us walk this path to the end.
Yeah, we're here. Don't worry. And we're coming to see what's going on. If anybody gets out of line and throws something again, it's a wrap. The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avrila, event of the ship's enforcers, is bearing the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached a boiling point. I have my orders to put an end to the unrest and purge the sector. You can take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the emperor himself. Well, guess what? So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Your lordship, what's the situation? Your lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. We encountered some locals on the way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided that they had nothing else to lose. Left to lose. I mean, I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We would deal with them once the current situation is resolved. Is that all you have to say? Are you sure you're worthy of an officer's rank? Let me go speak to these bums. Mouth twist, but he restrains. Yeah, I'm going to talk to these people. They gonna know who I am. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. We don't need luck, bro, because if they act up when I'm in here, I'm getting them up out of there. They don't understand.
The Divine watches over us.
When I show up, stuff is gonna happen. What's going on? Why ain't we getting in here?
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Where's everybody at?
Know your duty.
A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. Yeah. Lord Captain, you have come down to us? What is troubling you? Why are you striking? That says we were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out as if we don't know why the top deck units are being sent down here. Like that one there, the lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who have just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Awareness test succeeded. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and their glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. Tell them what is troubling you. That's news to us, your lordship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet. Snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to the whole base for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spit with her toe. What's that mean? Does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes. When the children's deaths are mentioned, she quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us, as clear as day, who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidst and has no feeling towards us. Your lordship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. The permission started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you found in possession of a cultist amulet and that there are heretics hiding here. Let's see. A cultist amulet? What's that? The goo-goo they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure, but when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by the tech priest who came calling, believe us, your lordship, we are the people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the Archenemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I'd had my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when the beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought the evil down on himself and his neighbors? Albert, do you have anything to add? Let's see what he says. I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in the sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. And clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us vile rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if the cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. We not doing that. You've gone too far, old Nan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist the enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day is out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies, and we'll talk to them. One lower deck to another. If there are any more of those damn amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. Let's say. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step toward embracing chaos. Putting weapons in the untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we'll consider the rest. The tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old Nan, listen. The Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down now. There's no time for you to be stubborn, old crone. Listen to us, old Nan. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. You two are ganging up on me. Is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace, the enforcers, make your peace. That's great. Just fantastic, Lord Captain. We're all agreed. Thoughts? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the arch enemy. We must not give them what they want, even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of own stupidity. That does not mean that they are not tainted with corruption. Bro, you tripping. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I've seen it before. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife which had gone through all the rows of the beds like a metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontent strikers, whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple: give them no quarter. Then it's decided the persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. It says, you have failed to convince me of your trustworthiness. This unrest ends now. Everyone who was involved will be eliminated. The persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating. There we go. Your lordship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower decks. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. You sure will. Of course, your lordship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers, and will leave no stone unturned. Yeah. Let's get out of here. This was a waste of. This actually was a waste of my time. So, he was right about that. That's the only thing he was right about. Bro, this was too easy to deal with. I should not have had to come down here.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna look, since we're down here, let's look around.
For the Emperor.
Bro, what the hell?
Let us walk this path to the end.
Alright, we out of here. How do we get out of here?
I go where the whispers lead.
You better whisper yourself up here then, so we can get out of here. I don't got time for this. Making me come down here for this.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. What do you want? Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You told the disloyal rabble you believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak havoc, whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. What? Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valacious Protectorate? What? Do not speak to your Lord Captain in that tone. Don't speak to me like that, bro. I'm obliged to speak thus. Who else can point out your errors and offer you counsel? Well, let's talk about your role in all of this. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora, do you think she ever set one slipper foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if she spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. Bro. It says I would be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation has spiraled out of control. Yeah, because I'm not gonna do this one. We'll go with 2. You're right, at least as concerns juniors, officers making complaints directly to you. And I lost my temper, and I believe I ought to explain myself. You sure better do something. The prosperity of the Von Valesian's protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order of anarchy. They create order out of anarchy. The creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. Bro, you wanted to kill everybody. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I came from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods. See, that's what you want to be the man. Bruh, you need to fall back. You ain't the man. I am. So you, like I said, you need to relax with that. I don't want to hear nothing else about that nonsense. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and rogue trader. Accept it and start living in a new world. A world where Theodora is gone, where you and I have new decisions to make. There we go. Yes, Lord Captain, your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. Yeah, because if not, you're going to see the dark side, brother. And now, please let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. You know, just had to put a little homie in. I had to put him, he tried to pull me to the side. He tried to run that little power game on me like, oh, well, the old person used to let me do this. Nah, we don't operate like that. You under new management, son. And you lucky I'm feeling all right today, because my Vader gonna come out. I'm gonna start force choking you. You keep it up. And then I'm gonna go, what's the weapon skill? What's my toughness? The 55? Let's go toughness. We're gonna just keep knocking this toughness up. And then, let's see, Combat Master, what is that? Enemies gain no melee superiority against this character. Swift movements. Dually. Grants 50% bonus to parry. Enemies suffer a minus 20 penalty to dodge against lost weapon attacks. I don't know what that is. Dodge, I can get my dodge up. It will not die. Increase wounds by half of the character's level. Rounded up. The characters gain +5 weapon skill. The character may improve any trained characteristic even if their archetype or origin does not allow it. Let's go through these real quick. What's this pinnacle of weaponry? The first attack in combat, it says, equal to my intelligence bonus. I'm pretty smart. Litany of Purification. Do I have this? No, I have Litany of Hatred. The Shield of Faith. All enemies in the area of effect of Warhammer, a Furious recital gain +1 stack. The disturbed effect, enemies that are adjacent to the devotee gain +2 stacks of disturbed instead. Also, all demons in the area of effect suffer damage equal to the momentum restored to the devotee while using the ability. What do y'all think? It's also permanently increased. I'm going with that. Then let's see what this guy's gonna get. I need your weapon skill to go up. And then enemy gains no melee, swift movements. Can we, what do we get down here with the blue for you, bro? Do not falter. All allies affected by brace for impact gain +30%. We don't have brace for impact. All allies affected by brace for impact. Where's brace for impact? What is this brace for impact? Is that like a passive skill or something? Alright, let's get up out of here.
The divine watches over us.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. We did have a long episode last time. And you guys let me know if you would rather me go a little bit over the 30 minutes or do an hour for this game, because it is a lot of dialogue. And if that's better for the people watching, then just let me know. Or do you guys just want me to keep it with the 30 minutes, because I can do either or. It just depends on what you like better. Let me know if you what you think about the upgrades that I made for both characters, or you think I should have picked something else. And let me know what kind of builds you guys are planning on using in the future. When we get back, we'll go ahead and take care of we'll fly to one of these other planets so we can get make contact with the Navis Nobolite station. And with that being said, I greatly appreciate you guys coming and checking out the videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.